Hello and welcome to the International Pentagon Challenge. My name is Kyanite and together we'll be embarking on a very special Football Manager journey where we'll aim to try and win every major international competition in all 5 continents, forcing our hand to play with hundreds of different types of players and most importantly hopefully create loads of awesome different types of tactics along the way. Once that's complete, only then are we allowed to set our sights on the biggest of all goals, the FIFA World Cup. How many nations will we have to manage until we work our way to the top? How many dodgy names will we have to pronounce along the way? So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun along the way. Okay, hello everyone and welcome to episode 43 of the International Pentagon Challenge. So, Asian Cup, first game, 8-0 win against Palestine. Last game, somehow lost 2-1 to China. You know it's bad when even in the post-match press conference they tell you were robbed. But to be fair, their goals were fair and square. And now we're up against a team who are, without a shadow of a doubt, going to be looking to play in a very, very similar fashion. And yeah, our relatively small centre-backs will probably struggle to deal with those direct balls. So let's hope that they've learned from their mistakes. In terms of changes, Claudio obviously comes in. Our 2 main right wing-backs are out. Could this lead to a change in formation? We'll have to wait and see. Faceless Nagayama, for some strange reason, I don't know where his face has gone, is going to be playing in place of Fukuyama, who was very wasteful in the last game, and Uchida's now going to be on the left-hand side. And Seki comes in up front, who can hopefully give us an extra bit of spark, which we really lacked in the previous game. Other than that, we're going to look to play the way that's been working for us. I'm not going to let just that one bad result against China rule out, you know, every other win we've had in friendlies against better sides than us building up to the tournament, and the 8-0 win against Palestine. Need to believe in the system, need to stick with what players are familiar with. And yeah, let's do this. Here we go then. A massive game, to be honest, against Uzbekistan. We really do need a win. Winning obviously results in us finishing second within our group, just behind China. We more than likely will have to play one of the big boys in the next upcoming game of the last 16. I believe it will be the last 16 because I think there are 32 teams in the tournament for the amount of groups that there are. But hey, look, on our day, we can honestly beat any of the top teams in Asia. So yeah, struggled against China, but let's try and get the first goal here and see where that takes us. We have to really score here. Well, we don't. there were more Japanese players than there were Uzbekistani players in our own half. Seki now whips the ball in to Takasaki and he's missed. How was he missed? I thought that was 1-0. We don't have that much information on opposition teams, and that's basically because the game's glitched out. I've been meaning to mention it in the past 2 episodes, but I've not actually been able to, so I'll show you what I mean if the game lets me. So if I click on staff, like, it does not take me to a staff page, and I can't control my under-21s or anything like that. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if it's a bug with Japan, but it's very annoying because it means that we have only 1 scout, and the kind of lone scout and the lone assistant manager and whatnot, there's just not enough of them to get a sufficient knowledge of the world, a sufficient knowledge of, you know, the players we're going to be coming up against, and that has kind of been an issue in terms of getting information on some of these teams. Fortunately, though, my assistant manager has been able to get information in terms of, you know, how certain teams play and whatnot. So, can we break the deadlock? Kawano, who's third choice right back, runs down that right wing, finds Nagata, who shoots from a distance, and the post denies him. Oh, I mean, it got a bit of a deflection, so it would have been... Oh, go on, finish. How's he kicked that straight at the goalkeeper? Oh, don't do this to me, Football Manager. Heads. Uchida. Good tackle from Jeroev. Asano picks the ball up. I was contemplating after that performance against China whether or not to drop Asano, but against a team like Uzbekistan, I feel like his technical ability should really be able to make a difference. We've looked good so far, where we've looked bad is hitting the back of the net. And I think what kind of happened to us is we used up all our goals against Palestine. I would have been happy with a 2-0 win against Palestine and 6 goals coming against China or Uzbekistan. So here we go then. Seki, who's come in to see if he can get on the score sheet. He came on in the second half against Palestine and scored 2. But I'll tell you what, that was Emil Heskiesk, that. If he's not going to score, failing to hit the target like that. Jarawev is going to look for the overlap, finds that ginger giant in Tosh Politov, who's apparently a right winger as well. he is massive. I don't know if it's just the camera angle, but their number 7, ginger guy, looks massive. Nagayama to Nagata. Can we thread that out wide? We can't, and it allows Uzbekistan the chance to counter-attack. Here is the big guy now. Tosh Politov is going to cross the ball in, and, well, it's a great hand from our goalkeeper, but it's another sign where these 4-4-2s are causing us problems on the counter-attack, and it's no surprise that that is the case, because it's how teams are looking to play against us, given that we are favourites. We've just got to be able to handle it. And I feel like we're handling it well in terms of dominating matches. We've got 71% of possession in terms of playing well and creating chances. But it's all good playing well and creating chances, but if you're not actually putting them in the back of the net when you're in front of the goal, you are eventually going to get punished. And all it took was Japan to have 2 attacks, 2 crosses in the last game, not in Japan-China, to win a game 2-1. Which was incredibly, incredibly disappointing. So the question is really for me, what am I going to do? Because that ginger guy, number 7 for them, is still causing problems down that same wing where the Chinese really took advantage. So I'm going to set Asano to defend. We're going to need fresh legs on centrally as well come the second half, because we've got some very tired players in the middle of the park. Kapadze seems to be spilling everything. So we might actually take work ball into the box and shoot on sight a little bit more and see if that helps us. Go on, finish. Oh. It's just shot after shot and just not hitting the back of the goal. So 30 minutes have passed. The game has been all Japan, and really unsurprisingly we've failed to make it count. So I'm going to up our tempo because we are the better team. Prevent short goalkeeper distribution and get stuck in. Let's start trying to rattle them a little bit more and start to apply pressure onto them. They're not exactly the most physical of sides, are Uzbekistan. Nagayama to Takasaki to Seki. Premier League striker, doesn't even hit the target from there. Come on, boys. You're making chances. You're getting opportunities. You've got to hit the target, and that's a great save from the Uzbekistani goalkeeper. Can't really fault Seki from there. Or can you fault Seki from there, from that kind of distance? I mean, why aren't you finishing it from there? You know what I mean? You give that to a top striker, he'll drill it home somehow. So China are drawing with Palestine. Credit where it's due to them. They're still fighting despite the fact that they are essentially knocked out. And, you know, we've got to be aggressive because this isn't so far good enough. Kawano's not had a good game. We really are missing a decent right wing back now. Nagata, for me, is going to have to come off for Kurokawa, is that box-to-box player, and Uchida is completely cream-crackered as well. So Furuyama's going to come on for him. Hopefully he can make a difference and play better than he did yesterday. Not yesterday, I mean, in the last fixture against them. And one thing we know is that Uzbekistan tend to concede a lot of their goals early on within the second half. So for that reason, I'm just going to go a little bit more direct, a little bit more expressive. Let's see whether or not we can really try and get the opening goal earlier on. And we at least then have something to sit back on. Honda with a great ball to Kawano, and now all Kawano has to do is find a striker, which he does in the form of Seki, and I'm not really quite sure what Seki was doing there. Kind of just came to a standstill and let the defender tackle him, and now Takasaki's offside. I just don't know what it is. Like, it just seems this year, like, it doesn't matter who we manage. We play brilliantly in friendlies, and then we play well in official games. The difference is, in official games, we just, like, we get chances and we don't hit the back of the net. Or a player like we've just seen will pick up the player will pick up the ball in the box and just get tackled with ease. Come on, Soa, get rid. Okay, we live to fight another day. Jarawev now with a free kick. And Uzbekistan win a corner. Are we going to have to see a change of system? Are we going to have to see a change of system? I'm starting to have doubts now whether or not, you know, it's okay to... That should have been a goal, yeah. It's okay to be seeing a lot of the ball, to be playing this nice style of football that was really boding very, very well for us in our friendlies, in our build-up to this tournament. But we are not putting the ball in the back of the net, and that is our main issue right now. Seki is one of the fastest players in this team, needs to make this count, and it's just a dreadful cross in the end. Can we at least shoot? We can, but it's probably the equivalent of a shot you'd see from the year 2s trying to play the year 6s, your typical primary school, and yeah. See, so there, like, that's a good example where having that third centre-back who can cover and kind of drop deeper to pick up them types of through balls comes in useful. Kurokawa. Oh, God. Come on, 2 up front, play together. Seki's through, and he's Emil Heskey'd it. This is a Premier League standard striker. Like, it just... Why, match engine? Why? Furuyama. Thread that through. It's very good tackle from side of, and we've come out in this second half. He's offside him, really wanting to make a difference. The 15 minutes have passed and we just haven't been able to. Not at all. What do we change now? That is the question. So it's hard because if we reduce our width, then we probably, you know, pass the ball around a little bit better, but they're very wide and stretched in their 4-4-2. Let's take a gamble and drop fairly narrow ourselves. Shorter passing, higher tempo and all that jazz. And let's just try and work the ball through the middle and get some slightly more kind of direct through balls the middle, just to feed the goddamn strikers, because that is really what they need. In terms of making changes, Yukutomo's pretty fast, and he's a centre-back by trade. He can kind of play right-back. I've played him wing-back once or twice in the past, and he's pretty decent coming off the bench simply because of the pace that he has. But when he has to then cross the ball, he poos himself. Oh, that was a good shot from him, actually. Takasaki to Yukutomo again, and that's what I mean by pooing himself. So, yeah, it looked like the shot he actually did have was a bit of a fluke. So, Furuyama to Kurokawa to Nagayama. So many Amas. And Takasaki was through in on goal there, but he was offside. And I don't know what to say right now. We're not scoring. That is our main issue. We're not scoring. Kurokawa is going to become a defensive midfielder with the intentions of us going on to kind of go for 2 attacking Mazzalas. Hopefully they can kind of kick on a little bit, mixed passing. And let's see whether or not that helps us break into the final third and create a few more chances. Time is ticking. We're not seeing much. Furuyama plays it back to the centre-back. So come on, boys. Nagayama to Seki. It's really, really difficult to break down these just banks of 4, you know what I mean? Kurokawa, Yukutomo. Come on, boys. Great ball to Nagayama there. There's the Mazzala at play. Seki shoots and it's just straight into the centre-back. Patient play. We're creating chances. Where's the final ball? There is no final ball. And that's why we're playing this formation. We don't have good wingers. We don't have good fullbacks. Thank God Honda was awake there. And yeah, he's definitely in Type R mode there. Why have we drawn 0-0 to Uzbekistan? Well, 10 shots off target probably answers that question for you. Where does it all go wrong at these major tournaments? You see, the issue is we want to go for this and we want to win, but Uzbekistan have pushed the wingers forward and playing more positive themselves. With it at 0-0, they just want to go for it. What kind of ball are we going to see into the box here? Well, come on. Oh, why are you so hesitant? It is offside. I think we could be here all day, to be honest. And well, he's missed the header there. I mean, we could be here all day and we're still not going to hit the back of the net. Takasaki, you've got men in the box. So let's just give it to the goalkeeper. Let's give it to the goalkeeper. He's got about 12 crossing or something like that, him as well. He's a player that plays for Chelsea. He's not that bad. Run. Are you off? He's onside. Finish. Oh. I mean, we've struggled. We've not been fine in the back of the net. We're scoring goals for fun in qualifiers. We beat Palestine 8-0, but we only put one past China. I don't really know what I can do as a manager in this kind of situation. I'm not going to tell the players it was good, Stuart. It was poor, and I'm kind of contemplating whether or not it makes sense to go for a tactical switch. It's just baffling how we can beat China, beat Belgium, beat Scotland. Very unlucky not to beat both Ivory Coast and Egypt. Beat Iran, Saudi, like in our qualifiers, not qualifiers, but friendlies. We beat all the big teams in the continent playing this way, and we come to the tournament and then we forget how to score. It just seems like every match ends up being some kind of chore. Let's keep going. Let's see who we've got in the second round. It's definitely not Guinea. The last time I checked, they were definitely not in Asia. You know what? I'm not even. I think the only reason we even got out of that group in second place was because we beat Palestine 8-0. It was goal difference that did it in the end. Uzbekistan, they just parked the bus, and we get Iran. So again, this is one of them things where we played Iran in our final friendly in the build-up to the tournament and beat them 2-0. And we didn't just beat them 2-0, we wiped the floor with them 2-0. This, however, is an actual game in a tournament where suddenly something else happens. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I know, obviously, beating teams in friendlies and stuff isn't necessarily a guarantee that you beat them in real tournaments, but I'm just really, really alarmed by the difference in performances from individual players, strikers in particular, that I see in friendlies versus official games. Like, it just seems like when we have an official game, the amount... It's not the performances that get worse, but it's the amount of shots straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, or the amount of shots wide, or the amount of shots over the bar just seem to suddenly increase. So it's kind of like what Pep Guardiola once said, was that when he was at Barcelona, his job was to tell the team how to get the ball into the final third. Once they're in the final third, he used to tell them, I'm not going to tell you what to do, it's your job to finish it off. You know, you're quality players. Once you got the ball in the final third and I've got you there, you should know how to score a goal, or what you need to do to score a goal. And we're doing that, but then it's that final finish where we're not finding the back of the net. And okay, you can address the issues as to why we conceded 2 against China in the first place, but for me, if we'd taken just half of the chances we had on top of the goal that we had against China, we'd have won that 4-2 anyways. See you next time.